Hello, and welcome to the For We Are Many podcast. My name is Rob, and I will be your host and comrade this evening. We should have Trisha joining us momentarily. We are going to be having a guest tonight. Most of you have already met her. Technically, I have not. But we will be having Mary Gundel, I believe I'm saying her last name right, back to discuss the unionization drive at Dollar General. I believe they're holding a protest in the next few days. And yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's give a brief overview here. The governor of Tennessee is pushing a bill threatening felony penalties against unhoused people. I have a lot to say about this. I'll wait till we circle back. The next thing is about wanting to give, if I understand it correctly, it's about wanting to give the Supreme Court justices and their associates Secret Service protection because of the Roe v. Wade leak. Again, I'm sure Trisha's got a lot to say about that too. We're going to talk about Victory Day a little bit. Obviously, not so much about Putin's, Victory Day, but we will be talking about Victory Day across Europe. Progressives across Europe, mark the 77th anniversary of the victory over the Nazi regime. More than $200 billion was erased from the crypto market in a day. Yeah. Trump officials in the meat industry blocked life-saving COVID controls, according to a new investigation. We're not surprised by this. We're going to be talking about how we're tracking the spread of COVID now, because testing is being reported differently now. Sorry. I just got distracted as hell. Anyway, we're going to be talking about...
Oh, hi. The hell logged me in as you. Give me a second. I'm going to fix my name. I don't know. That was weird. I went to enter the studio and it was just empty.
Yeah, because I'm not in the live studio. I'm in the event studio.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about 4 female journalists that were murdered around the world this week. We're specifically going to focus on Shireen Abu Akleh, who was covering Israeli Defense Force raids and was targeted by a sniper. We're going to be talking about the May Day protests in Chile. There was a gunman. And then we're going to be talking about the Grand Rapids Police Department investigating vandalization of multiple city commissioners' homes. And I mean, they literally just put like abolish the police or defund GRPD, and they're making this sound so fucking threatening.
But it's so scary, the thought of no cops. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I don't care if there was a newspaper article, right, about Patrick Loyola that had "blood is on your hands" written on it in Sharpie and rubber banded to a brick. You're lucky the brick didn't go through your window. You should take it as a friendly warning
Right.
that it was sitting on your lawn.
Right. That.
Oh, hey, Mary's here.
Hey.
Hi, Mary.
Also, Trisha, are you going to turn on your camera?
Yeah. Just give me 1 second here.
Fair enough.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. So I hear you're organizing a rally in a few days.
Yes, we are actually really super excited about it, honestly. Hold on, I was trying to join and I wasn't sure I was going to get in so early, but I got to take my dog out, so I'm going to do my dog and talk about it at the same time. Hold on, he is going crazy. Okay. Okay, I'm coming. I know our girl over here, she has doggies too.
So do I.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
They're sitting right next to me.
Come here, Rex. Come here,
Mine
Rex.
is laying back there.
I don't know how well behaved this other dog is that's out here, and it doesn't look like that lady can control him all that well. So, my dog does not like other doggies. But anyway, yeah, we are at the Dollar General shareholders meeting in Tennessee. We are all really super excited about it. We have a lot of people showing up, a lot of different organizations, such as Step Up Louisiana, Rise Up North Carolina. We also have the More Perfect Union. They're also going to be there, as well as the Insider, and a whole bunch of different people and speakers and organizations. We have pastors. We even have a lawyer and some city council members from Goodlettsville and stuff that are going to be attending. So we are definitely super excited about the rally and everything that's going on. We've currently booked over 50 hotel rooms. The Candlewood Suites Hotel for all of the expected people that are coming from out of state and all of that great stuff. So we're definitely like super pumped at this point.
As you should be.
Right. That's a lot of support. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gained a lot of momentum, and I mean, we've been planning this for, basically since we knew about the shareholders meeting, so a little over a month, maybe 2 months, but we didn't really announce doing or planning because we did not want, oh, come on, dog. We did not want Dollar General catching whiff, I guess you could say, of that per se, because we didn't want them to take advantage of the situation and try to flip the script and reschedule it or move it somewhere. All our efforts are, basically for nothing. Announced it, I think, last week. So we've basically only given them 2 weeks notice that all of these people are going to be showing up and rallying and marching and protesting at the sheriff's meeting. So I'm hoping that doing it and only giving them that much notice really won't give them enough time to really combat our efforts. So,
Hell
yeah.
Best way to do it, honestly.
So how many stores or workers participated on May 2nd anyway?
We had 40 stores across the United States that actually closed their doors. They closed their doors, shut down for business the day of May 2nd. Now, that didn't include the stores like mine, however, or my old store, that remained open and had protesters outside. So we do not have an exact number of those stores. We just got the exact number of how many actually closed their doors and protested outside, and that was 40, which, I mean, when you're talking about a company as big as Dollar General that has over 17,000 stores, 40 stores doesn't really sound like a whole lot, but when you've only been organizing for a month, 40 stores.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of time. So we definitely a win, and we are movement, and we are definitely gaining momentum and getting more and more people every single day. I mean, now we have stores that are closing down randomly because they don't have AC. So they are protesting on their own now without me, without anybody else. They are closing down their stores and literally showing up to their shift, but putting signs on their cars and standing outside by their cars with their signs stating, refuse to work without AC. And they're just standing out there and they're showing up every single day, not opening the store, just waiting for their ACs to be fixed. And I think that's amazing. I mean, it's finally given the people the balls to stand up for themselves. And I think that's great.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially with this fucking heat wave that's been moving its way across the country. Like, everybody's roasting their nuts off. Fuck no. Ain't nobody working without AC. No.
Right. That store actually is in Oklahoma. So they've been dealing with, a lot of heat and stuff like that too. I mean, I know, a lot of people are still scared, and a lot of people are still saying, well, I can't afford to lose a job. We all get that. I mean, I've been out of work now since April 1st, and I just landed a job today. But I think a lot of that had to do with my fault, because I look at my career with Dollar General and I'm becoming very picky with who and what organization or company I work for. And so I'm looking at companies a lot differently than I used to. And I don't want to work for another Dollar General. I don't want to work for another money hungry company that's going to treat me like crap. And so I've been kind of picky with who I decide that I want to go with and who not to. And even though I've went to interviews and I've basically gotten the job, I've almost done like a second thought of it, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should just see what else is out there before I just say yes and get tracked again.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah. You got to be cautious. Shit.
I almost think Dollar General gave me some PTSD.
I wouldn't doubt
I
it.
wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I've got major PTSD, and I'm looking at red flags like everywhere. Like, every time I see a red flag, I'm like, nope, not for me.
Yep.
And it sucks. But
that's how it's gotta be, though. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up to get fucked over by another employer.
Right.
If you ignore those red flags, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Nope. I mean, yeah, it's a paycheck, but at the end of the day, I want to be happy with what I'm doing. And so I actually, I interviewed today. Well, it was like my second interview and tour of a new company. I'm not necessarily giving out that company just yet, but I can tell you that it's a nonprofit organization. And with my tour today that was 3 hours long, by the way. And it wasn't even that it was mandatory 3 hours long. It was literally just me and the regional manager. And we clicked, and we were talking, and we were getting to know each other. And, he was telling me about their organization and what they do and all of the different things. And like, I cried because I was just so moved and, inspired as well as to everything that this organization does and the people that it helps. And even though it's less pay than what I'm used to, I mean, it's not as much less pay, but it is, close to around $10,000 less than what I was making, and close to almost $20,000 less than what I've been offered at bigger companies. Like, I told my husband today, I said, I think this is what I want to do. I think this is where I want to go. I think this is where I want to work, because I'm looking at longevity, and I'm looking at the company as a whole, and I'm looking at what they do and how they treat their employees. And everyone that I saw there today, I mean, there was at least 50 employees there. And like, on their name badge, it says how long they've been with the company. It has their picture, it has their name, and then it says their years. And I met some people today that have been there for 30 years, 15 years, 10 years. I mean, I didn't meet anyone today that has been with the company for less than 5 years. And they all knew.
That's a good sign.
Right. And I'm just sitting here like totally impressed and in shock. And I'm like, I definitely think that even though the pay isn't exactly what I want, this is what I want mentally, and this is what I want emotionally. And I think that this is going to be the best for, longevity, long term. I think doing that with this organization, what makes me happy, regardless of the money.
Oh, yeah. Curious. What all do you guys have planned moving forward? Or do you not want to put that out there and get Dollar General heads up?
Well, we do have, after the rally on the 25th, we are planning something for the first week of July. It's going to be in the state of Louisiana. We are, as a group, as a movement, as an organization, are planning on doing probably something I'd say round about every month, like 6 weeks or so. Definitely demonstrating in the streets. I mean, we want to keep the momentum going. We want to keep showing the support, and we want to keep being there for all of these workers. So we are currently planning in Louisiana. We're thinking probably the first week of July. So after this demonstration on the 25th, we're going to start really digging deep and planning for that, just like we have been for this shareholders meeting. Now, what we've got going on in the first week of July isn't going to be as secretive, just because it's not a shareholders meeting. It's not an investors meeting, So we're definitely, after this demonstration, going to be a lot more forthcoming and open about exactly what our plans are, where we're going to be, and all that stuff. Just that way we can invite more people out to meet us and, show support for their communities in the state of Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we've got planned coming up.
That's exciting. Obviously, keeping the momentum is probably the most important part. And there's no way that they can ignore you, I guess, to be blunt, at the shareholders meeting. There really isn't.
Right.
So what are the exactly. So what are the goals of the march? Are you pushing for unionization in general, or wages specifically, or kind of all of the above?
Honestly, all of the above. But mainly at the shareholders meeting, we are basically there just to ensure that our voices are heard by the investors and the shareholders, because Dollar General is really big on stating that the shareholders and the investors are the most important. They're who runs the business. Well, if they're the ones who run the business, then they need to know what's going on. And apparently they do not.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we show up during this shareholders meeting and we are greeting them in that building.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have like a Facebook page or a website that people can go to for more information?
I am currently of building the website as we speak for the Put in a Ticket movement. But right now we do have 2 Facebook groups currently. It's for the hashtag Put in a Ticket movement. One of them is a public group. So obviously anyone can find that one and post in it and share and all of that great stuff. And then I also do have a private group, which is strictly for, more personal details and things like that. You're a little bit more screened being led into that group. So like we don't have reporters or journalists or anything like that, or anyone from HR trying to sneak in. So we do try to screen that one a lot more. Now the public group, there is a reporter I know for sure in that group has spoken with me before, she joined, to get my permission and things like that. And I did go over specifics with her as to, what I expect from her when it comes to sharing my people's information and things like that. I don't want anybody harassing anyone, and I don't want any of my people's information shared unless they are okay with it. And I've been very, very strict on that from the beginning of this, because a lot of people, like I said, are still scared. of retaliation from Dollar General, and I don't need any of these people's information leaked in any way at all. But it's a public group, and you know, kind of what you share in there is kind of at your own, because I can't protect everything. But people they're getting to the bear. They're like, whatever. If I get fired, I get fired, you know, and we get posts every single day. If you do join the group, we get posts just about every single day where a new Dollar General employee, it's like, I just found another job. Peace out, DG.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
That
like
mindset has really been spreading like a wildfire through retail, through food service. That's what I do for a living. And it's about time, right? Like retail workers and food service workers have been beaten down for 40 years at this point. And I think that all of us are just like, enough is enough. Why am I going to be abused like this and not be able to pay my rent at the end of the month? Like, what?
Right.
What
Like,
the fuck am I working for?
During the pandemic, we were deemed essential and so important, but damn, y'all know that. Like, come on. We're so replaceable. Y'all make sure to remind us of that every single day, how replaceable we are. But just, you know, last year we were so essential and so important to you. Come on, put your money where your mouth is.
Literally. Right. It's a moment of fuck you, pay me. And fix the goddamn receipt. And fix the issues with the shipments coming in with no fucking where to put them. And, they need to get their shit together.
Right. And, you know, like I've said a lot of times, you know, when it comes to these, you know, retail chains and fast food workers and stuff like that, it's as if you're in a narcissistic relationship. Like, you're trapped. You literally feel trapped. And, you know, these people, they genuinely love their job, or they love what they do, and they love the customer service, and they take pride in everything they do. But you're just so beat down constantly by the company that you almost feel like you don't deserve any better. You feel like that's the best you can do. And then
I have felt that way. It's funny you should say that, because I completely relate to that.
Yeah. And then they throw a bone, a little card stock reward for such a great job you're doing, pat on the back, and that makes you feel so good.
Oh man, for Christmas, I got a $10 Amazon gift card from my boss.
Oh, a $10 gift card.
I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna buy with that? Like, really?
And a little like summer sausage and cheese tray that you gave me. Like, I'm not fucking eating this. And I was like, I will. I like summer sausage.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was from the company too. Like,
yeah. That's better than what we got. We got socks.
Oh man.
At least I would have used socks.
No, you would not want to use these socks.
Okay, fair.
Okay, they were compression socks that absolutely sucked. Okay? And when I say they sucked, like, I have little itty bitty feet. I have like little girl feet. Those suckers could barely fit on my feet. And they were Dollar General socks. They were black and yellow, and they had DG all over them.
Oh my God.
That's what we got.
Wow.
That's insulting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then, just a couple months ago, so like the month before I got terminated for everything that happened, they sent us an appreciation box for all of the employees for the store. You want to know what was in it? Wasn't socks this time. It was Dollar General shirts. Dollar General shirt that said DG Spend Well. So if you see those were given to us by the company as a thank you gift. Oh, and then we also got some cheap ass water bottles that looked like they were probably made from Wish, that have the same logo on it, DG Spend Well. She's laughing. Yes, they were like they came from Wish. Okay, I said it. And we got some pens that you write with. Yeah, we got those too. And a keychain that said DG Spend Well. So each of us got one of those. Oh, and the shirts. How about they only sent larges all the way up to 3X? Now, let me tell you now, the majority of the people that work in my store, they're my size. They were like mediums and smalls.
So you're just swimming in your gift shirt.
Natalie said, not even a turkey?
Yeah.
Compression socks for the venous problems employees get from standing for long hours. Shaking my head.
Right.
You know, that's what we thought too. We're like, well, hey, you know, they gave us compression socks to help with our feet. But they sucked. I'm telling you right now. Like, I swear, if I knew exactly where a pair of these socks were, because I still have mine, I would literally go, you know what? I'm going to go see if I can find one. I'll show y'all how to
Right. They could have at least gotten you some decent ones, like the copper lined, you know, heels that actually help.
Oh, come on. I have got to have them in here. I might have packed them up. Don't mind my TV. I'm right next to it. Oh, come on. No, I don't see it. I'm telling you, they were freaking hideous. Oh! I found it. I found it. You ready? I found the socks.
Let's see him. Oh my God.
What the fuck?
These were 22.
Wow.
And they're compression socks, look. So when you actually put them on, like, dude, I could barely stretch these things. Like, they're like super tight. Like, I can't
it's
even.
supposed to be compression, not just cutting off all blood flow. They're
Right?
not even
Right.
up to your knees properly. It's gonna like just squeeze off blood flow mid calf. What the fuck? That ain't
Wow.
helping, buddy. Fuck.
Oh, no. These ones right here, these were from my walk. Okay. I don't know if you guys seen it, but I posted it to Facebook a while back. I think I posted it in my groups, and Roche came to my the walk award. With my walk award, or walk the walk award, these were the socks I was given. She gave me fucking as an award.
That's lame.
Yeah.
That's really lame.
Yeah. But the Christmas ones, they're identical to this, only they have the walk the walk emblem just like this, and they have little like Christmas what do you call those things where you kiss underneath it?
Mistletoe.
Yeah, it has two little itty bitty mistletoes up in the corners. That's what we got for Christmas.
Dude, they suck. They suck. It's just, why bother? I mean, getting told to fuck off is better than getting some lame ass socks you're never gonna fucking wear. All they're doing is basically giving you Dollar General merch. Like, okay, now go out in the public and rep us.
Right.
You know? Fuck.
Yeah, these are brand new. Never wore them. They've been in my drawer for like since 2020. Since I got them in 2020.
Right. What's the point of keeping them? You might as well like donate them to a clothing drive, and maybe some little kid can wear them since they're so damn small. You know?
Maybe. Honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I was honestly thinking, because I still have like my store manager shirts and stuff like that. I was honestly going to do like a video or something like that where I was burning my shirts, but I haven't done that yet.
If you do, we could totally air footage of a Dollar General bonfire of shit.
That would be so.
Yes. Tell everybody else out there, like, start burning your shit.
Yeah. Let's make this a new hashtag.
Yes.
Let's make this trend. Burn your Dollar General shit.
Yep. Set it all ablaze. Fuck you. Not only are we not repping your shit anywhere,
Right. Right.
but even burn the damn uniforms. Like, you better get your shit together if you want us to come back.
Right.
Burn all of it.
Absolutely. Totally agree. 100% agree.
Fuck. That's just audacious. That I mean, your bonuses and gifts and shit are all just Dollar General merch. Like, really, guys?
Yeah, we don't get any special shit. We don't get a Christmas bonus. We don't get any of that stuff. I mean, the only holiday we have off is Christmas. And that's because we're closed. That's the only day we're closed. We have to work Thanksgiving and we have to work Easter. Oh, but get this. Their new pop shelf stores, they're closed on Easter.
Really?
Yeah.
So how come nobody else is? I mean, there's so many holidays that everybody should be able to have off through the year, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I can almost guarantee you that they're going to be closed for Thanksgiving. They're going to be closed for all of these other major holidays that all these other retailers are closed for, even though Pop Shelf is Dollar General.
Right.
So why that those employees get those days off, but us at the regular Dollar General do not? And so I have assumed that it is because Pop Shelf stores are aimed at the wealthier customer in the nicer neighborhoods. And they said that in a news briefing themselves from their own mouth. They are for the wealthier customer. So, being that those have a totally different demographic and they are aiming towards those customers, yeah, they're going to close down for Easter. They're going to close down for these other holidays. But then the Dollar Generals that are the original Dollar Generals that got them where they are now, that are in these horrible neighborhoods and stuff like that, oh, we have to stay open because we're less than.
Right. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck all of that.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, no. You should be able to have some, paid time off.
Oh, we don't get
holidays all throughout the year.
No, we don't get PTO. The only PTO we get is vacation time. And you get, if you're a full-time employee, but you have to be classified in their system as a full-time employee. Okay, that's the trick. After 6 months, you get 20 hours. Once you hit a year, you lose those 20 hours, but you get 40. So it doesn't roll over to where you get 40 plus 20. No, you lose the 20 if you don't take it. And a lot of employees don't even know that they have those 20 to begin with. My assistant had worked with me for almost 2 years and didn't even know that she had vacation time.
Wow.
Yeah. I told her I was
fuck?
Yeah, because I told her
weren't even using it.
She was talking about getting ready, to possibly leave the company. And I was like, well, you might want to use your vacation time before you leave. And she's like, my vacation time? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I have vacation time? I'm like, yeah. I was
Wow.
like, you're an assistant manager. I was like, you're a full-time employee. You're classified as a full-time employee. You get 40 hours. I said, and since you've been here 2 years, you should get 2 weeks worth.
Right.
And she goes and she looks in the system, and sure enough, she's got 80 hours of vacation time.
I'd have taken them all off in a row and then been like, fuck you, bye, I quit.
I mean, I'm about to move, so that's kind of what I'm going through right now. I tried to burn out my PTO last week because my girlfriend graduated with her PhD.
Woo-hoo.
And I ended up working in the middle of the week, so I didn't have to take all of my PTO. And then this week, I've been out all week because I tested positive for COVID. So, yeah. I mean, that being said, I'm definitely feeling better today. I haven't taken any meds today, and I can talk, so that's a plus.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, that combined is all part of why we missed last week's show, actually, for the people that are watching. But anyway, yeah, I was totally going to say something, and I don't remember what it was. I don't know. I still got the brain fog going on. That's for sure. But oh yeah, about work. That's what it was. Vacation time. So I'm glad that I at least had a little bit of vacation time since I'm missing, a whole week of work now.
Right. I mean, a lot of companies, they have vacation time that's given to you, but at the same time, you earn PTO. Like you have certain days you can use for sick days. You have, you know what I'm saying? And Dollar General doesn't offer that. It's like
Right.
if you haven't been with the company, for 6 months, you don't have those 20 hours, if you're classified as a full-time employee. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a part-time employee and you've been working 40 hours a week or 45, or, you've been working full-time hours for those 6 months. No, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you are classified, you have to be classified in the system as a full-time employee in order to get those 20 hours after 6 months. And a lot of those employees don't even know they have it.
That's fucked up. That just tells me they don't want people fucking using that and actually having.
Of course they don't. I mean, they rely on so-called lean staffing just like everywhere else does. And that's why they don't want people taking time off, because they don't have the people to do it.
Nope. And they don't want to pay the people to do it, because if that person actually does take those 20 hours off, then they have to bring somebody else in.
Right.
Or you have to have somebody else on the payroll to be able to cover that. And the problem with that is these stores are so understaffed. To stay under payroll, you don't have the extra help to bring somebody in to replace somebody for a whole 20 hours.
Right.
I mean, their business model is just jacked. Totally jacked.
Yeah, Dean, I know you don't know who Dean is. He's a person that's been involved with the show since day one. But like, he was talking about how the shift into neoliberal politics under Reagan is really when like MBAs were taught to exploit their employees, and I think that over time it's just got worse and worse. And that's how we ended up where we're at.
Right.
That being said, in other like unionization news, the Starbucks unionization spree is spreading like a wildfire. There's been a grand total of 9 stores that attempted to unionize that didn't succeed, and all of the rest have. Which the last count that I saw from the Starbucks Workers United page was 80 stores. That's since, what, March?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And that just blows my mind. With the tens of millions of dollars that Starbucks has spent fighting them.
Right. Starbucks is losing a lot of money in this fight.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I have in some more organizing efforts in Chicago. It was just reported, I think, within this last week. I think it was Raise Up in Chicago or something like that. They went and supported a whole store of workers that walked out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know Teamsters is focused on taking the Amazon truckers. That's exciting. If Teamsters unionizes the Amazon truckers, it's over.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. That's exciting. That's really
And that brings me to my next question. How does it feel for you to like be involved in this like, kind of mass wave of workers' struggle, I guess?
Honestly, I still feel like there's a lot of fun things. Not been, but there's so many of them. Dollars, all now coming together, starting to unionize, and it's massive. So at this point, I start looking into organizing or union whole movement of Dollar General. So, but now I feel like I feel great to be a part. I feel like I'm still a part of this huge mountain of people who are all trying to think back.
Hey, do we still got you?
Uh-oh. Did we lose somebody?
No, I hear you now.
Oh, you didn't hear me this whole time?
I
Your
mean, I
audio
heard you.
was
I heard
cutting
you
out.
off and on. But yeah, you kept cutting out. But I was hearing, that you're talking about how all of these companies are coming together for this unionization push, and I mean, yeah, that's every day that I like scroll through Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and I see, hey, we're doing a walkout this day, or hey, we're about to vote on a union, and it's literally every day there's
Right,
something. Like 5 years ago, I would have thought that was impossible.
right.
So I mean, like I don't know. I hope it's a sign of good things to come, because we've had like 50 years of employers just exploiting the hell out of us, and now it's time to, instead of us being thankful for having a job, it's time for them to be thankful to have employees.
Right. Absolutely. I could not agree more. Like I've told a lot of people, in my movement and just trying to organize across the United States is we have the power. We do. They don't
Right.
have they have the money. That's it. But
Right.
without us, they have nothing.
Right.
And
They
that's
wouldn't
where
have a fucking business.
right. That's where a lot of people don't understand. Like, do you honestly think that if we literally walked out of these buildings, all 17,000 stores, you honestly think that the CEO himself is going to come down and try to run one of these bitches? The answer is no. At
No.
that point in time, they're going to have to give in and they're going to have to give us what the fuck we want. They need to realize
Exactly.
who is running the business for them. It's not them, it's us.
Always has been.
And until these corporations understand and realize that, nothing's going to change.
Right. Guarantee you none of those pencil pushers would even know how to run the fucking register, let alone how to do stock or any other fucking shit.
No,
Yeah.
I can guarantee that one. I can guarantee that one. But I can't announce something I'm working on. I don't really give a damn if Dollar General hears this or knows about it, because I'm sure they're going to hear and know about it sooner or later. With our unionization efforts, we are going about this a couple different ways. I personally and my assistant Crystal, we are working with Acorn International, and we are working on building our own nonprofit organization for general workers across the United States, in which it will also help protect salaried store managers who are within our organization. But at the same time, there are certain areas and states, those I will not mention, but we are working to actually unionize those certain states or areas with a specific union. And we're going about it a lot differently, because we know that after seeing what happened in, Cincinnati, or not Cincinnati, it was Connecticut, and a few other instances where they literally closed down stores after the union was voted in, stating that the store is no longer profitable. Closed down stores once the union was recognized. Doing that, we are actually unionizing 10 stores at a time and then filing with the NLRB. So you're either going to recognize this union in those 10 locations in that state, or you're going to have to close 10 stores.
Mm-hmm.
Not just one.
Right.
So
Well, and
that
I
is the
mean, they
way.
should be investigated by the National Labor Relations Board for cutbacks like that. In most countries, even our closest neighbor, Canada, that wouldn't even be legal.
Mm-mm.
But see, that's the thing too, is okay, you might be able to get away with closing one store saying it's non-profitable as recognized, but let's see you try to explain 10.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So how are you going to explain that one to the NLRB? 10
Right.
stores are non-profitable that were just recognized by a union?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I really think that doing it that way, Dollar General is going to be stuck in a pickle, and they're going to have to make some tough decisions or face the consequences.
Right. And
Yeah.
given, like, in any decent sized city, you're going to find at least 10 fucking Dollar Generals. Start going through one city at a time.
Yeah.
Come on. Everybody here, unite. Let's.
My hope is that, when you do your first batch of 10, the next time it's not necessarily a batch of 10. It's, 30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the way that Starbucks took off. It started with 3 stores in Buffalo, and then about a week later, there was 1 store in Arizona, and now it's over 80.
Right.
That.
It's like a wildfire.
Yeah, and we're kind of hoping that that's the way this is going to take off because, like I said, we know a lot of people are still scared. And, even with the Connecticut issue where they closed down stores, people are scared of that too. They're afraid that if they do vote for a union, they're still going to lose their job because the store's going to close because that's what Dollar General does. So we're hoping that once we're able to get through and actually file to recognize a union within 10 locations, and that is successful, other people will see it can be done. And it'll kind of make them not so afraid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll realize, just like with Starbucks, hey, these stores all 3 of these just unionize. Like, it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
right.
And I think that's what everybody's afraid of, is it has never been done. So once we're able to actually do that and we get it done, what's to stop you now? What are you afraid of?
Right.
Yeah.
Be showing others, look, here's how you do this.
Right.
Hell yeah.
That's
Setting a legal precedent.
Right. So that's what we're working on, and that's what is going on a little bit behind the scenes. But right now, we're just mainly focused on the rally on the 25th and getting all that stuff put together. We have a lot of speakers that are going to be there. We even have some Amazon workers that are going to be there speaking, Walmart workers that are going to be Yes. We've got a pastor that's going to be speaking. We have a customer that is going to be speaking as well. And then we also have we have one of the 2022 Circle of Excellence award winners from Dollar General who just got to meet Todd Bezos last week. She is going to be speaking at the rally as well.
Hell
nice.
So
have you put together like a press release or anything?
We have not really put together a press release so much, but it is out. There is an article that was published by the Progressive that did announce our rally on the 25th. If I knew how to, I would copy and paste it and put it in your thread. That way you guys could see it. But that's really the only press release that we have released as of now. It basically states where we're going to be, where we're starting, which we're starting in Payee Park in Goodlettsville, Tennessee at 7:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And we're going to be rallying there first thing in the morning. I will be speaking as well as Kenya, who's with Step Up Louisiana. We will be speaking at Payee. We are going to be marching over to the shareholder meeting, and then we will also have speakers outside the shareholder meeting. And then didn't mention, we also have a band, a percussion band coming up from New Orleans. So they are going to be creating lots of noise and music and all that great stuff while we're marching through Goodlettsville and outside of the shareholders meeting. And then obviously, you know, we're going to have a podium set up and speakers and all of that great stuff. And then we also have a few people that are actually going to be inside of the shareholder meeting.
Probably.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you happen to take any footage and want to share it with us, we'll be happy to.
Oh, there's going to be lots of footage. Lots of footage. I always go live at our protest, so I will be live on my TikTok. I'm probably going to see if I can have my assistant go live on Facebook, so we are on both of those platforms. But like I said, we also have media that's coming out. We do have the Insider. We do have the More Perfect Union. They're going to be out there filming, doing documentary filming, and they're also going to be taking interviews from employees.
Awesome.
And things like that are out there, and we are expecting some local news crews that are planning on coming out as well and doing stuff like that. Now, whether or not it's going to be like live and all that great stuff, we're not exactly sure. But Goodlettsville is aware that we are coming. They are absolutely aware. We have permits. Like I said, we have the city council that has approved us being there. They said they're not going to get in our way. They're not going to bother us. The police already know that we're coming. And all of that great stuff. So we're definitely like super stoked.
Good.
Like,
I hope that the turnout is massive, and it sounds like it is going to be a good turnout. So,
oh yeah. Well, we're the just from the people that we know for sure are coming, that we've booked hotels for. I mean, they're on buses. They're coming from Louisiana. They're coming from North Carolina. I mean, we've got busloads of people, and we've already estimated minimum 200 people are coming from like out of state and things like that to the rally. So that's not including, the few that I have driving from West Virginia and the few that I have driving by car, from, Tennessee, and then the crowd in Goodlettsville that actually live there, or Nashville that heard about it and are going to be attending. So, we're definitely, 200 people is, quite a few people if you think about it when it comes to rallying outside of, town hall and, all that stuff. And then obviously we're going to be gathering attention, and people are going to be wanting to talk to us and figure out what the hell is going on, so. Yeah. Super excited. We're super stoked, and everyone is invited. So.
Awesome.
Woohoo! But I am going to go ahead and jump off here so I can spend a little bit of time with my hubby before we decide to crash for the night. But I did want to jump on. I remembered talking to you and one of your co-hosts, I believe, earlier this week, and I told her, I was like, I'll try to jump on so that way I can give you guys some updates, because she was telling me, she's like, oh, we want to hear about
it. Yeah. I was super excited when Vicky said that you were going to be coming back on tonight.
Oh, well, thank you. I was super excited to talk to you guys about it too. Like, I've been telling everybody I know, I'm just super excited. I never would that it would have gotten this big and we would have gotten so much support. I'm super humbled and appreciative, to everyone who's reached out and everyone who's supportive. And I thank you guys so much.
Anytime.
I hope to see this, explode just like Amazon and Starbucks are right now.
Right. That's the thing, like, that what you're doing is really resonating with people. That's why it's snowballing so fucking fast, and it's beautiful. This is what we need to see more of happening across all of labor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's time for the workers to stand up and stand together and demand what the fuck they want. And if not, then these businesses need to close their doors until we get what we want.
Yes.
Period.
Hell 100%. Yeah.
These people deserve a pay that can actually pay their damn bills. They deserve it. Right. It's ridiculous. Like, my daughter, she just got a job, and her $10.50 an hour, and I'm just sitting here, and it's part-time. They're not even offering her full-time.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I don't want to say what company it is, but it's a huge company. And I'm sitting here like, thank God my daughter is 17 and she's not living on her own. Because if she was, she'd be in massive trouble. Like, there's no way she could afford to live on $10.50 an hour part-time.
No.
Yeah, ain't happening.
No, rent's skyrocketing, gas is through the roof, food prices are outrageous. I mean, I make considerably more than $10.50 an hour, and I still fucking live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Sometimes less than paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes I have to DoorDash on the side to make ends meet.
Yep,
Right.
that's what my husband do too. I mean, my husband, he works for a really good company and he makes decent money. And even though I've been out of work this time, I've been lifting every day, but I've been bringing in the same exact amount that I was bringing in weekly from Dollar General. And he was out door dashing today on his day off. I mean, that's ridiculous. We have 2 working adults in this house, and we work 6 days a week. And I mean, like I said, he makes decent money. I mean, he makes $20 an hour, a little over $20 an hour. And it's like, really, even at that pay, like, we're still living paycheck to paycheck. We're still struggling. But yet we still don't qualify for food stamps. Like, I just don't get this. Like, I was at the other day, and my son loves chicken nuggets. Mama went to go and look at these chicken nuggets. How about a fucking bag of Tyson chicken nuggets was $17 at the Winn-Dixie? $17 for a bag of chicken nuggets. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you have got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even last my son.
What the fuck?
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I've got to do some research. So I did some research and I was looking at like the DCSS website for like food stamps and how to qualify, what the income guidelines are and stuff like that. Please answer me this, Batman. Going up. Prices of gas are outrageous. People can barely make it to work. Food is outrageous. Like, people are hungry right now. But the income DCSS to qualify for food stamps has not gone up. Why?
Because they don't give a fuck.
Like, technically, we should qualify for food stamps right now. Like, my grocery bill went from $100 and $150 a week up to like $350 a week. I have 3 children.
Right.
And it's about to be summer. They're going to be home all day, not eating school.
Right.
Like, dude, they're about to kill me. And I am not going to let my kids go hungry. So I am honestly on the verge. Like, I am waiting. I've been waiting every day to see on the news where these people are literally getting desperate. And they're going into these stores and they are jacking food from these people. I am waiting for it. I am waiting. Because I can guarantee you that people in this country are not going to allow their kids to starve. They're not.
No.
And I'm surprised, super surprised right now with this formula shortage craziness going on, that hasn't already happened when it comes to formula.
Right.
3 companies control the formula supply in this country, by the way.
Really?
Yep. 3.
And they're fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Because I'm seeing pictures from Mexico where they're full. I'm seeing pictures from Canada where they're full. What about us?
Right.
Like, I don't get it. Like, America's supposed to be such a great country, but babies are starving.
Exactly. And I mean, it's not like you can just. Not all mothers can breastfeed, right?
No. And
it's not like you can just use cow milk. In the old days, they would use goat milk as a substitute because it's much closer in, the nutrient makeup. But how many of your neighbors have a goat that you can go milk?
Right. That.
Right. I mean, I would have to probably go to Plant City. If I had a baby, I would probably have to go to Plant City and drive around Plant City because that's more of the country around here because I'm in Tampa. I'm in a big city. And I would probably be driving around there looking for somebody with a goat. And I would be banging on their door crying. Like, can I please have your goat's milk? Right. This is America. That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really worries me where it's going to go from here. Actually, I'm looking through my topics for tonight, and I didn't even put the formula shortage in there. So I'm actually really glad that you brought it up.
Well, I mean, I brought it up because one, like I don't have a baby. I don't. And I really wasn't even paying attention to it. I mean, yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was. But someone really close to me, she's a really young mother. She's like 22 and she's pregnant with a third child. And her second born is like 8 months old. And she had reached out, or no, she had posted on Facebook about how she couldn't find any formula, this, that, and the other, whatever. And so I commented back and I said, what kind of formula are you looking for? And she lives like 2 hours from me. And she told me it's the Gentle Ease Enfamil because her son, he's like lactose or whatever. He has problems digesting stuff. So, and that's the only thing he can eat. And I'm like, okay. So I started looking. Couldn't find it anywhere. Nowhere. And she like literally took a picture of her formula can and had half a scoop left. And she's like, I'm going to have to try to give him this bottle. And I'm on the phone with her and I hear this and she's like, I'm going to have to try to give him this half a bottle and see if that for him. But I don't have any more to get through the night. So if he wakes up in the middle of the night, like I'm fucked. And so I'm over here frantically calling around. I'm calling CVS. I'm calling Walgreens. I'm calling places I never even thought of for formula, seeing if they have any. And the sad part about it is we did find some. We found some at a Walmart. Okay. We found some at a Walmart that were close to her. But they were the $40 cans. Now, mind you, she's 22. She's on WIC. Her WIC checks only cover the small cans.
Oh, so my God.
She did not have money to buy the big can. That was the only thing they had. They had 5 of them left. That was it. I sent her money and I was go get that can.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, she has WIC checks. She can't use them because they're not for the right size and they won't honor it. And she didn't have the money to buy it. And her son's over here starving. And I'm just like, no, like, here you go. I sent her like $45. I'm like, here, that should be enough to cover the formula and the tax, whatever, to get that can. At least you'll have that for now. And then, we'll try to figure out how to get you some more. But that's when I really started noticing how bad this really is. Like,
yeah.
It's just sad. And then they want to talk about this Roe versus Wade and try to make women have babies. And like, you are doing this at the wrong time.
For real.
Are you crazy?
Not that there would ever be a good time for that, but really going to do that while the cost is skyrocketing and nobody can find formula? Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to even try to make a good, not a good case, but if you're even going to try to make a good argument, this is not the time to try to make that argument. Like, at all. Like, this is the worst possible time.
I hope that when the draft is officially released, right, when the opinion is officially published, right, because right now it's leaked. We know what it is. We know they have the votes. We know their arguments.
Right.
Right. But when that becomes official, if women aren't out in the street, well, I mean, not just women. I mean, I think that we have to show out in the streets too. But the point is, women should be out in the streets in every city in this country. Like, there is no way that we can allow that level of, I don't even know what to call it.
Archaic, draconian fucking trash.
That's a good start.
Like tip of the iceberg. That's.
I like.
I like you too.
Actually, I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but I know that Trisha is working on putting together a roundtable of women to discuss the Roe v. Wade issue in further detail.
If you want to join us for that, then,
that'd be great. I'd love to hear that.
Hell yeah. I'll send you a friend request, and if you want, I'll add you to the Roe Roundtable chat. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I do got to say, I totally agree with women having rights over their own bodies. I agree with every single person in the world having rights over their own body, whether you are a woman, a man, a trans, whoever the hell you are, nobody can tell you what the hell to do with your body.
Right. You
However,
own you.
Right. However, like, I see all different sides. So I do see some of the men's side that have came across my TikTok. I don't even know how the hell I got on that side, but I got on the dark side of TikTok with the men. And
You have my condolences.
and they're talking about it, and so I kind of see their side too, to where they're like, well, what if I am the father and I want the baby but my wife doesn't, like, how could we settle that? Or why is it okay for a woman to say no, I don't want it, but the man can't, and it's mine too? If we're trying to say that life begins at fertilization, why doesn't the man have any say? Why can't he decide he wants to be a single father and the woman, do whatever as long as he pays for everything? I know pregnancy is a woman thing, and I know it's medical bills, and I know it's health risks, and I know all of that stuff. However, I do know that women will have babies even though a man doesn't want it, and she decides to be a single mother, no problem. But then that man gets put on child support. It kind of goes both ways. So it's really a tricky situation. Like, I see both sides.
I was wondering what angle you were going for, and I actually kind of get what you're saying about the child support portion of that, because that whole system needs to be thrown away, and let's start from scratch, because it is fucked.
Too, because there are fathers out there that don't want to be fathers, but they're put on child support, and it's not so easy for a man to sign over his rights. What legally, a man to sign over his rights, it's not so easy. Like, my ex, who 3 children, our previous marriage, like, I have to be married and with my husband for 2 years. My husband has to legally want to adopt them, all 3 of them. And my children, because they're teenagers, they have to approve of it.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy for my ex to say, well, I didn't want to be a father to begin with. But guess what? My ex now owes $14,000 in child support, back child support.
And all that is a risk of jail for him. And who the fuck can pay child support from jail? That's where I have a problem with it, of like, why are we using punitive measures instead of being like, okay, if you are, in this situation where you have to pay child support, how about we give you some tools to put in your fucking tool belt? How about we get you some more education to increase your fucking skill set, so that way you can get into a higher paying job and be able to afford to pay for your kids without losing your entire ass.
Right.
In
the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, where our divorce was settled and where the whole child support case was put up, they take 50% of his paycheck, 50%, to pay the back child. Now try to imagine being that person in today's age, where you are working your ass, can't even make it as it is, and then 50% of your paycheck is cut just to pay child support for kids that you didn't even want to begin with, man or woman.
There should be a legal cap on how much of your paycheck they can take. I mean, yes, are kids expensive? Yeah. Do single moms need that fucking help? Yeah. But there is also a factor too that just popped in my head that has to come into play too, of if you really, really are hard set of you don't want kids, it's really fucking easy for a man to go get the outpatient surgery, very minor surgery, minimally invasive, to go get your fucking shit snipped.
Yeah.
Real easy. But they put a million fucking brick walls in our way where we can't fucking go get, even a partial hysterectomy or anything, because they'll be like, well, if you don't already have a fucking litter of kids, then you might change your mind. You might want kids in the future. Hell, you might marry somebody that wants kids. What are you going to do then? And it's like, wow, so this imaginary fucking future husband that exists only in your mind, not mine, has more rights over my body than I do? What the fuck? Right. But they're literally right now, the shit they're doing is pushing those of us who don't want kids to the point of like, I'm sorry, but unless you can show me paperwork proving that you've had a vasectomy, don't know what to tell you. You ain't bringing your dick near me. Because When you can still get pregnant on birth control, it's like, I mean, what the fuck? Nothing is 100%. You can be using hormonal birth control and condoms and still get pregnant.
Yep. All of those things. The whole system is just totally jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Totally jacked. Like, if you're going to make it to where women are forced to have babies, then why don't you make it to where people have rights to give up the rights to their kids willingly because they don't want them? Like the man or a woman even on it, or like something needs to change. You can't just throw people in jail who owe child support and never wanted the kid to begin. Like, that doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve anything for the kid, and all it does is cost taxpayers money anyways.
Right, it's more expensive to throw them in jail. We spend around $65,000 per person average to jail people a year. That's more than what most people earn in a fucking year. So why are we spending that to jail people instead of to provide for those kids? I mean, hell,
Absolutely right. Like, it's just totally bad reevaluated.
All the fucking way around. Yeah.
100%.
All the fucking way around. And even, okay, like, when it comes to the abortion issue, for so many years, there's been some really like hardcore feminists who, myself included, have told men, you don't have a uterus, please sit the fuck down. But I do have to take a moment to acknowledge that there are ways in which this does affect men. And one of them being, what if you're in the position of you're pregnant with a baby that you guys do want, and you find out that there is something wrong, the baby's organs aren't developing or anything along those lines, where it is not a viable pregnancy.
Right.
And you can't even make the choice, to save the life of the mother.
Yeah,
you're fucked and stuck. I've seen a lot of these posts coming from men who were like, wait a fucking minute, like, my wife would have died if we hadn't had the ability to choose to get this abortion that neither of us fucking wanted, but it was either that or my wife would have ended up with septic uterus and she would have died too.
Right.
And
a lot and some of these mothers too, you got to think and consider, like, some of them have kids at home. So It's like, yes, I want the baby. Yes, my husband wants the baby. But I can't live having the baby. Like, if I have this baby, I'm going to die, which means it's going to leave my current children and my current husband without a mother. Right. And the baby's going to die anyway. What does that solve?
Doesn't fucking solve anything. It doesn't help anybody. It's the thing. People don't realize that there's so many situations where access to a DNC or even just the pill to help, like if you've miscarried and your baby is, or your body is not expelling the fetus, then, your choices are to fucking sit there and die.
Right.
No, you should have access to a DNC or the pill to help your body expel the fetus.
Right. If you're so pro-life, then you should be pro-life for the mother in these emergency situations.
Right.
Yeah.
If we're pro-life, then let's talk about the current life, the current one who's breathing, the current one who's living, not the one who hasn't developed yet and that is possibly going to kill the mother. Like, ectopic pregnancy, there's no cure for that. No cure. Like,
None.
You cannot live. You cannot survive having an ectopic pregnancy. And to hear these people, like, I've seen in a couple of, like, these court hearings and stuff like that, to where these men are over here asking these state representatives and stuff like that, well, why is, an ectopic pregnancy, why is their life not important? And, why is,
it's
this?
not
And it's like,
because it's never going to be a person. It can't. It has no potential for it. I've literally seen some motherfuckers ask, well, can't you just take it off the fallopian tube and put it in the uterus? No, you dumb shit. That's like, that's not how anything works.
You have a block?
You can't reimplant it somewhere else. Like, fuck. And even that's a huge risk. Like, even if you have a triple ligation done, then you're still at high risk for ectopic pregnancy.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to plug my phone in so it don't die.
Right on. No worries.
I didn't want to be rude and just keep talking and then my phone die and y'all be like, what the hell happened to that bitch? Rude.
Fuck it. But it's one of those things that, like, this problem is so fucking multifaceted. We definitely need to be having these conversations.
No, my luck, it would die at a point where I just said something that was probably really controversial. And people are just like, this bitch did not just say that and then just say, peace out.
Mic drop. Bye.
Yeah. Really, what happened? That is my luck.
Right.
But yeah, so that's definitely, it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. And, you know, like I said, I'm so, you know, pro-choice. I am pro-choice. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-mother. I'm pro, you know, if it's going to cause you to die, then that's the life we need to worry about. Right. You know, I mean, I couldn't be pregnant right now. And, you know, I mean, obviously I would want to keep it. I've just always been that way. But if something were to medically be wrong with me to where I could not carry that pregnancy or my life would be in jeopardy, like, I would have to make that tough decision and it would kill me to make that decision. But I have to think about myself for my children that are already here.
Right.
And I don't think that the courts and all these people really get that. Like, it's not like women are literally going out and spreading their legs and being whores and being like, oh, well, you know what? We always got abortion to take care of that. That's not the case. Okay? Like, women are not using abortion as a contraceptive or get out of jail free card or whatever you want to call it. I mean, they're using it for important purposes, you know, mainly
emergencies.
Right.
Like if your birth control failed, or if we're talking about a case of rape, especially incest, look at how many little kids these fucking backwards ass states have made give birth to rape babies. Little kids who are still babies themselves. I don't care if you're 11, 12 years old and shit, you are still a baby yourself. No fucking bureaucrat should be able to force you to have your body further violated. I don't give a fuck.
Nope, I totally agree. And, you know, I was a young mom. I'm not going to lie. I had my daughter at 16 years old. I did. I had my daughter at 16. I had my son at 18. And my next son I had at like 20. But the whole point of that is when I was 16 years old, I mean, I had the choice. My mother supported me 100% and told me whatever I wanted to do, she supported me. She wouldn't judge me. And I decided, you know, I was like, no, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to have it. Whether the father wants to be in the life or not, I really don't care. I'm going to take care of it. I mean, I did this. I'm taking responsibility and I'm going to do what I have to do. And so I did. And I couldn't imagine, my daughter's 17 now. I couldn't imagine if I would have decided differently just because you know, for no reason. I mean, you know, I get that some women do that because they weren't ready or, you know, they're a teen mom or, you know, something like that. I mean, I'm not going to judge you for it. I mean, everyone is different. I just took it as, honestly, my daughter saved my life because I was in a really dark place at that time. And if it wasn't for her, and me actually having to grow up and have that responsibility, I couldn't even promise that I would be a good person right now. I can't promise I wouldn't be in jail or strung out on drugs or anything like that, because once I got pregnant with her, my entire life changed. The partying stopped. I mean, I was not all that great. I mean, just to be honest with you, when I was 15 years old, I was dealing drugs. I was stealing cars. I was snorting cocaine. I was the total epitome of a badass and just didn't give a fuck what anybody had to say. And as soon as I got pregnant with her, everything changed. I quit doing the drugs. I quit selling the drugs. I quit stealing cars. I was just like, no, she deserves better than that. And so without her and without that happening, I couldn't say where I'd be. So if anything, I thank her. And I remind her all the time, like, you saved my life. Because without you, probably now or really drugged out. But I mean, that's not the same case for everybody, and I respect that 100%.
Right. Hell, there's even situations where, okay, like one friend of mine was 16 when she had her oldest, and a couple years later had another baby, got pregnant again like a year later, needed to have an abortion because at that point in time she could not handle another infant to take care of. But once she was able to, like, she absolutely wanted to have more kids. She had 4 more.
Right.
It's just was a matter of timing of, the situation that she was living in at that point in time was not conducive to a third infant, or rather a toddler and 2 infants. But still, like, it's hectic. And it's a thing. A lot of these legislators want to put qualifiers on there of like, oh, well, we'll okay it if it's under these circumstances or those circumstances. And it's like, dude, I don't care. Whatever it is, okay, that's not an easy fucking decision to make. And whatever the person who is pregnant, whatever their fucking reasoning is, it is clearly strong enough to have brought them to that point of going, this is the only realistic choice I can make. And that is not for any fucking buddy else to judge. Like, whatever their reason is, it is valid. It is fucking valid. Whether it's life, whether it's health, whether it's that they already got multiple kids to feed, whatever the case may be, this is, one of those last options that anybody considers. It's not a frivolous fucking thing.
No.
Ever. And they want to treat it like it is.
That's what they don't get. I think they think that this is like, or the very first thing a woman thinks of when she's pregnant. It's just like, oh, well, I'll just go get rid of it tomorrow. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't think they understand the emotion that goes through that and how hard of a decision that actually is for a woman to go through, whether they wanted the child or not. It's not an easy decision. It's just not. And when you're a rape victim or you're a victim of molestation or incest, like, I can only imagine how hard that decision has got to be too. Like, even though it is a product of something so horrible, it's still a really, really tough decision to make, regardless. And they just act like it's something so easy for us women to just be like, oh, psh.
Right. And it's not. It's one of those things of, like, especially in a case like that of if you got pregnant because of a rape, then you're literally deciding between, okay, do I incubate this fetus and torture myself on the daily, that every time I'm reminded that I'm pregnant, I'm reminded of the rape, because that's how PTSD works, is you literally are reliving the shit in your fucking head every time it fucking hits your thoughts. That's fucking torture. Who do these fucking crusty old white men, let's be honest, crusty wealthy old white men think the fuck they are to tell anybody, yeah, you have to endure this fucking trauma to be forced to give birth? It's not okay.
No,
it's not okay. Never okay. And
I can't even believe we're talking about this. I can't even believe we're having this discussion. Like,
same. I never thought I would see the day that they would even consider repealing Roe. Like, oh no, that's just a really fringe, extreme right-wing fucking thing that'll never fucking get enough support.
Well, it is, but the extreme right-wing fringe holds the court.
That's the problem. That's the fucking problem. We have a literal fucking rapist and a couple other fucking sexual predators of different sorts.
The fact that Brett Kavanaugh got the confirmation still blows my mind. It's been, like 3 years? It still blows my mind.
Yeah. Like, really? Really? How did this fucking epic piece of shit manage to land that? Oh, wait, because he was anointed to that position by another misogynistic epic piece of shit rapist.
Fucking sad.
The orange one.
Yeah. The orange one. El Presidente Anaranjado. Fuck. It makes me want to scream. It really makes me want to scream, because even that action of like literally forcing the rest of us to accept Kavanaugh in our Supreme Court is an act of proverbial rape of our fucking rights.
I will not be guilty.
Fuck. The majority of this population supports keeping abortion rights. One person, one vote. Fuck the bullshit. This shouldn't even be up for consideration when we already know that the majority of the population supports
Right.
healthcare.
Right. Like it's insane. Like America is literally a cesspool at this point. Like I used to be so proud to be an American as I was growing up as a kid. Like everybody wants to be American. Everyone wants to come here. This country's so amazing. The American dream. And as I've gotten older, I'm just like, and now, like, even now, like, now is the worst I think I've ever seen this country in my life. And I'm just over here looking at all this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
It's reality hitting, because that bullshit of American exceptionalism that we all got mind fucked with in school is just that bullshit. It's all a fucking lie. As George Carlin says, they call it the American dream because the only fucking way you're going to believe it is if you're asleep. It's not real.
It's really funny that I put that in the comments and then put it
Oh,
on
no
the
shit.
screen as you said it.
Right there with you, man. Like, fuck.
But I mean, and like my TikTok and stuff, and I'll scroll, and I've gone to that side too, to UK and all these other sides where they're talking about what they think about America, and they're just telling us all these great things. They have free health care, like they don't pay for health care, they get free college, they don't have to pay for that either, and all this stuff, and I'm just like, what the fuck makes America so great again? Right. And they're so worried about, like with 90 Day Fiance. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. With 90 Day Fiance, they're so worried about those people using Americans to get into this fucking country. Why? Why would you want to come here? I know if I didn't live here and I wasn't forced to fucking live here, I damn sure would not want to come.
Fair. The right wing has to have a scapegoat. And for a very long time, that scapegoat has been immigrants.
Unless they're white, then it's open your doors. Like,
oh yeah, like the Ukrainians flooding.
Yes, let's bring all these Ukrainian kids and families over here because we've got to save, them from the war going on. But if it's brown people coming north from South and Central America, then this stupid fucking bitch that we have sitting in the VP seat is like, no, don't come here, go home. And it's like, wait a minute. Why are you towing a white supremacist line? You're not white. What are you doing, bitch? But
well, yeah, and I mean, if we're gonna like talk about the supposed values of this nation, what does the Statue of Liberty say? Give me your tired, huddled masses. I don't remember the whole thing, but the point is,
you're hungry. Yes,
exactly.
And
then we lock kids in cages at the border instead. It just
right.
Yeah, everything that I thought was true about this country turned out to be
bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Nope. I'm just waiting. It's gonna get so much worse. Like, I just see it. I see a revolution. I see all of these just cards slowly being turned over, like, one by one, like, here you go, I'm going to show you this card, and I see, like, the American people finally being like, checkmate, bitch. Yeah. And just, like, not taking it at all. Like, it's going to get bad. I have that feeling it's not going to be pretty.
I mean, revolution isn't pretty.
Yeah. No. Is it necessary at this point? Yes. Is it going to be pretty? No. Not at all. Just especially not when at this point even just looking at the whole picture of, we have the masses who are going to be ourselves divvied up because we've, over the last few years, seen exponential growth in white supremacist movements. And on top of it, have
That's
a bunch
on the
of
discussion
our government.
for
So it's
tonight too.
like, how the fuck are those of us who have any goddamn ethics supposed to go up against both a huge chunk of our population and against the fucking government at once?
Right.
This is a shit show. And it's downright fucking frightening to really think about, because those motherfuckers in those extremist groups are getting more and more volatile. I mean, look at the fucking kid that shot up the grocery store in New York the other day.
Dude.
He was literally inspired by these White Lives Matter motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Most of what was in his manifesto is shit that you'll see, like, damn near verbatim on these white supremacist groups' social media pages.
Yeah, specifically like National Socialist groups or, Nazis.
Nazis.
See,
yeah.
I don't even, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm not so educated on like the white supremacy thing, is because like anytime like I see on Facebook or something like that, like all this racist BS like going on, I immediately just like delete, block, bye-bye. Like I don't feed into it. I don't listen to it. I don't have anything to do with it, because like I just wasn't raised
Right.
like,
and a lot of people.
and it's truly
Sorry,
disgusting.
we lost your audio for a second. I thought you were done.
And it's just, it's truly disgusting.
And I mean, a lot of people do that,
But make no mistake.
like, for your own peace of mind, of like, I don't want to see this fucking trash, so you hit the block button, But when it comes down to it, we actually need more people to be aware of, like, look, this is the fuckery that's brewing over here right now that literally is a fucking threat.
Right.
Straight the fuck up. It's a threat to society.
I guess my problem with that kind of stuff on social media is I have a really big fucking mouth. And so when I see shit like that, I immediately want to comment. And I've been in Facebook jail too many times already for talking shit.
I can understand that. I can relate to that.
When it comes to racist stuff, like the last time I was in Facebook jail was defending a Uber driver, because I'm in an Uber Eats group, okay? And this guy posted like a picture or something, like a screenshot of how much he made that night or whatever, and it showed like on the map where he was. He was a black male, a white girl, white lady. She commented underneath it, and she basically flat out 100% verbatim called him a roach, said he was a cockroach. He needed to go back to his fucking neighborhood and quit being in her, how did she put it, high class, like better white people area, and stealing her tips, and he needed to go back and crawl with the roaches where he came from in the ghettos.
Wow.
And so I seen all this under that post, and I went fuck off. I went off. Like, I couldn't hold my tone no more. I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't. So I called her out. I didn't really necessarily call her a bunch of names, but I was sticking up for this gentleman because it was just completely wrong. Everything she was saying to him was just completely wrong. Like, okay, just because, like, you're going off of his profile picture. Okay, he's a black male. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, how do you know he lives in the fucking ghetto? You don't. How do you know he grew up in the ghetto? You don't. And who the fuck are you to be calling somebody a roach, bitch? You live in fucking Florida. Right. How about this? I guarantee you there's roaches up in your kitchen, ho.
Right.
Like,
for fucking real.
Like, for you to sit here and judge somebody just off their profile picture, fucking, you ain't nobody. You're just mad because he beat you in money tonight. And then I told everybody under those comments, like, I was like, all right, I said, that's cool. I said, because that's only like 45 minutes for me. I said, I'm going to be up in your area tomorrow. What you going to tell me? And so me and like 4 other drivers we went up there to Wesley Chapel, which is where she was talking about, and all 4 of us met up, and we all purged our fucking area the next day.
Hell yeah.
But of course, I got put in Facebook jail for 30 days for that. I was like, okay.
For sure. Yeah. Zuckerberg can't handle that shit. Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I guess I can't feed into this racist stuff anymore because I just start going off on people because I get mad. And yeah, so now it's like I'm afraid to even like see if I see a racist post, I don't even go to the comments anymore because I'm like, I don't want to be in Facebook jail for 30 days. And I know I'm going to say something if I see something that's sideways.
I say focus that rage into your organizing.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Get a little more creative when it comes to how you type stuff out in there too, so that Facebook's AI doesn't recognize the words you're putting in, whether it be just putting spaces between letters or using symbols that look like those letters. You got to get creative. I've had to learn this the hard way too, from getting so many counts of, imprisonment on Facebook for calling people white trash when they're talking white trash shit.
Right. It's like, but get this. She didn't get put in Facebook jail.
Of course not.
Of course not. Zuckerberg's okay with racism against everybody, unless you call somebody out for being white and racist. Then you're the racist. Because how dare you talk shit to a white person?
Right. Like, I was, talking shit back to her. But wait a minute, bitch. You just called this dude a fucking roach. You just told him to go back to the fucking ghetto and all this other shit. You called him literally everything in the book except for the N-word. And
well, yeah, because if she would have used that, then it would have flagged it.
Right. But you didn't get put in Facebook jail, but I did. You dumb hoe.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I try not to feed into the racist stuff too much because I can't. Like, I don't have a filter when it comes to that point, and yeah.
Me neither. Yeah.
Understandable.
So I have multiple Facebook accounts because I know that at any given time I'm likely to have one of them in jail. Repeat offender here.
You know what? I'm not really a Elon Musk fan. Don't really care about the dude. But I'll tell you what. I think he needs to buy Facebook so we have freedom of speech back. If he's doing that with Twitter, we need that on Facebook.
I mean, he says he is. We'll see how that goes. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't really believe anything that Jack says.
I mean, he's a rich fucking white. Can't believe anything that motherfucker
said. Exactly.
And especially when on his own personal account, he perpetually blocks anybody who disagrees with him about any fucking thing. So,
And he tried to have Twitter
how
take down the bot that tracks his private jet. Can't forget about that.
Well, see, like I said, I don't really know about it. Like I said, I don't really know the dude. Yep. All I know.
Oh, well, I mean, me either. What did I just drop?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we tend to troll him here, even down to our Patreon. Like, we literally have an Elon Musk tier that says right on there, this is only for Elon, $100,000 a month. So Elon, buddy, if you're watching,
needless to say,
he better good with your money than you are.
Well,
no.
damn.
No.
Well, Elon, if you are watching, okay. I really love the space program. Just gonna tell you that, okay? My grandmother retired from the Kennedy Space Center. She worked over 20 years. I want the space program to come back. And I want to know what's on the dark side of the moon and don't fucking
lie. Maybe listen to the album, take some illicit chemicals, and find out.
So, Mary, you said that this rally is in Tennessee, right?
Yes, it's in Goodlettsville, Tennessee.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because the governor of Tennessee, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. The governor of Tennessee is signed a bill that is threatening felony penalties against unhoused people. Actually, I'm sorry. He allowed it to pass without his signature.
Is this bill that I heard about that allows basically any age to marry like an adult?
I don't know anything about that. This is just literally about camping in your car or, setting up a tent for living accommodation.
Okay, explain this to me. That's a new one for me. I didn't hear that one.
So it would expand the Public Property Act of 2012, which makes it a Class E felony to camp on all public property, including including parks, which includes tents, tarps, and temporary shelters, or sleeping in your car.
Don't make me go pitch a tent.
Oh, dude, right. And so there's hundreds of people that are homeless in the Knoxville area, and over 60% of them are homeless due to high rents. So how is this law supposed to help the people of Tennessee?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Why the fuck aren't they putting that funding into housing them in normal housing? Not, okay, we'll house you, but only in a fucking prison. What the fuck?
How much are they going to spend to lock these people up?
Well, that's what, she was just saying was it costs around $65,000 a year just to house one inmate.
I mean, that sounds about right.
So why couldn't that money be used? So why couldn't that taxpayer money be used to actually get them back into a living situation to where they can become a productive member of society that can sustain themselves?
Yeah, exactly. Invest
but that
in
goes
people.
hand in hand. Not paying a living wage. Like
exactly, it all goes hand in hand, and it all boils down to capitalism.
Right.
Can I quit? Can I quit
it's
being
sad
American?
When motherfuckers would... I feel you. I feel you. Like there's
like we're paying
there's
like I video the other day, actually I don't know. But this guy he was talking and I didn't even get to watch the whole video, but he made a valid point. We're all paying to live on a planet that nobody owns.
Yeah.
Like
I mean if you like born. Look
like we were, whatever revolutionary way that you think that we came here, okay? Regardless, that's how we were born onto this planet. Why the fuck are we paying for it? Nobody owns the motherfucker.
Right. Imagine any other animal paying to live.
My dog doesn't pay. The squirrels don't pay.
Right.
Why the fuck do I gotta pay? Like just breathing costs money.
Because
and if you're poor and you live in an area with a lot of air pollution, then you're going to pay even more to breathe because you're going to require medical treatment because you've been too poor to breathe clean air. Right.
I mean, I watched this video earlier and I'm like, he makes a lot of fucking sense. He makes a lot of sense. Like, I can get it in a certain aspect, like a rental. Okay, someone else built it or somebody else paid for it or whatever. But why the fuck can't I go out to a park or, these trees over here, the woods? Why can't I go and get me a shed or some shit like that, like a tiny home, and just put it there and not have to pay anybody for it? Like, I could just put it fucking there and I could live there. I could get me some solar or, whatever. Live however the fuck I want to and not have to pay for that property. Why?
Well, because capitalists whittled away at the homesteading laws that used to exist.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you just described used to be legal. Homestead. That's how we settled the West.
Right.
Right.
Like, why?
Pick a plot of land.
Right.
build yourself a home.
Right. If I lick it, it's mine.
Damn.
I mean, he just made a lot of sense. Like, we're on this planet and we're all paying out all this fucking money for all this fucking shit, but nobody owns the planet. So why the fuck are we paying out all this money to live here?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the world is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. To who?
Right.
Right? Right? Did the aliens come and say they want planet Earth now? Like, I mean, let's be honest here. I just don't get it. Dude, I don't know. This is just fucking batshit crazy. Sometimes I drive myself crazy with some of the thoughts that I have about just life in general. And it's really stupid. And I feel really sad that this is the world that my kids are growing up in. Really sad. Like, they deserve more. They deserve better than this.
That's
this
a
is
big
why
part of why I'm 31 and don't have kids.
I'm 40 and don't have kids. Never will.
Well, I'm 33 and I have 3.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is why I moved onto my sailboat and lived on my boat for 2 years. Is because I was just tired. I was tired of the rat race. I was tired of the 9 to 5. I was tired of schedules and someone telling me I was going to go to work and having all these bills to pay and everything like that. Like, I lived on my boat and it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, and my kids loved it. And I think, honestly, I was a lot happier then. I mean, yeah, I had to pay docking fees when I came to the dock and, all that stuff. But I wasn't grounded anywhere. I wasn't stuck. I wasn't stuck in a job. Nobody was going to tell me what the fuck to do. I could easily leave from the dock and fucking just drop my anchor anywhere I fucking wanted to. And boom, here I am for the night. I ain't got to pay nobody.
Yep. That's actually something I've wanted to do that for a long time. I've lived in motorhomes for the most part for the last 10 years, just traveling around because of same reason, like if I want to be like right now I'm at a campground. If I want to be at a campground and pay some rent to have utilities and shit, cool. If not, I do have the means to dry camp and still have my utilities running and whatnot.
Right.
But I have liberation that I'd never had when renting or even trying to buy a house.
Right.
Only ever got fucked in those situations.
Right. I completely commend what you do, because I lived in an RV for, I think it was roughly 6 months after I got rid of my boat, because I was trying to come back to, civilization, as I called it. So we sold our boat and all that stuff, and we actually got a motorhome, and then we traveled a little bit in our motorhome, and then we finally found a house to settle into, and so we sold the motorhome and settled into a house. But I cannot say how much I regret that motherfucking decision at this point.
Right? When you're tied down to a house specifically, then you're stuck with all the bullshit that comes with it. Somebody can yank that fucker away from you if you don't have enough money coming in to pay them to justify your fucking existence there.
Right.
Whereas if you own your sailboat or your motor outright, nobody can fucking take that from you.
Nope. Nope. Not at all. I miss my boat.
I bet. I did peep your YouTube page and saw some of your sailing videos, and it made me really miss sailing. It's been a while.
Every time I look and I see those old videos, I'm just like, oh my God, like, I miss that. I miss the feeling of just being free. Freedom. Like, people don't realize how good that feels. Like, It's a totally different feeling. And I'm sure you feel it now, being in the RV. And it's a totally different feeling, because you have that choice.
Yeah.
You have to pay that fucking campground fee. I don't feel like paying it. There's a Lowe's right down the street that I could park for free. And that was some of the freedoms that we loved when we were in the RV too, was that it was like, we weren't, nobody was going to, kick us out. I mean, yeah, you can kick me out of the RV park, but guess what? I can park any fucking where with this motherfucker. So you ain't taking the roof over my head.
Right.
And guess what? I
Right.
filled my water tanks and my batteries are charged. Thank you.
Right. That's I think like down here there's a lot of areas where you can just dry camp for free, public lands and stuff. And I mean, before it got so hot that I needed to run the AC around the fucking clock like I do right now, I could go out there and dry camp in those areas and just only need to run the AC for a few hours a day and just run the Jenny. At this point, having to run it around the clock, it's actually cheaper to rent a campsite than to pay for all that fucking gas.
Right.
But, there's options. There's
Right.
options. It's one of those
Right.
things that at least, if I'm on the road traveling a long distance, I can stop and camp just about any fucking where, kick the Jenny on, do what I need to do, fucking, it's a matter of home is wherever the fuck I park it, and I like that.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. I miss my RV and sailboat life. I really fucking do. I really do. Really.
Right.
Especially, but now it's like if I were to get an RV or I were to get a sailboat, because my husband and I have talked about it over this past year, and we've talked about getting another RV and doing the RV thing. Like if it was just me, him, and my youngest. I mean, my youngest, he has autism, so he'll probably be with us for a really long time, even into his, well into his adult years, which we're fine with. But to try to have it with me, him, my son, and my 2 other teenagers, that would just be hell. It would just be hell. Like, it was okay when they were younger. They thought it was like so cool and it was fun and, all this stuff. But now they're teenagers. Oh no.
Right.
Oh no. Not now. They would not like that at all. Hi. But I mean, my youngest son, he really wouldn't have a problem with it. So now we're just like, well, I guess we're kind of stuck until our other 2 kind of move on or move out of the house or, decide what the hell they're going to do before we can actually say, okay, we can officially go and buy an RV and do what we want to do. Because, I mean, when I bought my sailboat, that's exactly what we did. We were done with life and society and done with people dictating exactly what the fuck we're going to do and what we have to do. And we're just like, screw it. Like, we sold everything we owned. We sold everything we owned, got rid of the house, the car. I downsized everybody's stuff into basically a trash bag. Everybody got a trash bag. That's how much you were allowed to take.
Yeah.
So whatever you can take has to fit in this trash bag. And my kids did it. I did it. My husband did it. And that's what we did when we moved on to our sailboat. We bought our sailboat and took a trash bag each. And that was it. Got rid of everything else.
Right. Gotta live minimally as fuck, or you're not gonna have room to move.
Right. We didn't even have a microwave for 2 years. I didn't have a microwave. I didn't even at first I thought it was going to be the end of the world. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a microwave. But then after living on the boat for 2 years, when I came back to land, and my husband's over here like, we need to get a microwave. I said, no, the fuck we don't. What the fuck we need a microwave for?
Right.
He's like, well, to heat up like frozen meals. And so I said, we have not eaten frozen meals in 2 fucking years. Like, what makes you think we're going to start now?
Right.
And so we talked about it for like a good year once we got back on land. And then one day I came home and there's a fucking microwave. And I'm like, really? And so now, whenever we're working late or, something like that, we have fend for yourself nights. And so, yes, we do have some frozen meals that go into the microwave. And then now I use it to warm up my coffee. But I could damn sure live without a microwave.
Right. I didn't use a microwave for years. I have used it more than I would care to lately, just because it's fucking easier than heating up this whole goddamn RV using the stove. But
okay, I got
a necessity.
I got a funny for you. Your stove in the RV, it's gas, right?
Yep.
Like you have propane or whatever.
Propane. Yeah.
Okay. We were so broke at one point that we couldn't afford to refill our propane in the RV. So you want to know what we used?
Huh?
We went to Walmart and we bought the can heats.
Oh, nice.
Sterno.
Yeah. We bought the can heats and we would literally put them in the burners.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it works.
and I would use them fuckers to cook with. Hell yeah.
Gets the job done. Shit.
Hey, you learn a lot when you're in that life, and you've got to come up with ways. Like, you just learn all kinds of shit. Just like, oh well, okay.
Yep.
Like
That's
growing up in Florida. Yeah. Go ahead.
I've got an electric hot plate and electric fry pan just in case, because you never fucking know.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't.
But what were you gonna say?
I was saying, like growing up here in Florida, like, obviously, I grew up here and we had all kinds of hurricanes that come through. And I remember being without electricity at one point for like 3 weeks down here in Florida in the summer. It was fucking sucky as hell. And us as teenagers, like, we just kind of got together and realized that we could build a stove outside. And all of our parents were like getting together, talking about how, all this meat's going to spoil and da-da-da. I mean, we had steaks and burgers and like all this good meat shit. And, our parents were just like, oh, well, we have no way to cook it. We have no electricity, and da-da-da-da. So what we did was we found bricks and shit, just like, laying around or whatever. And we built an outside grill and took the oven racks out of the oven and put them over it. And we started grilling up like all this fucking food just with a fire that we built underneath it. I mean, when you're in certain situations like that, you learn to improvise. And I think that is really cool and really awesome. But I mean, I think society these days, like, my husband didn't even know about that. And he's in his 40s. Like, when we had our last hurricane, we were without electricity for almost, I think it was like 2-3 weeks up in Georgia. It was a couple of years ago. And I was telling him about it. I'm like, I'm about to build, a grill outside. And he's like, you're going to do what? And I was like, I'm going to build a grill outside. I was like, get me some bricks. Find me some bricks or something that I can put this grate on. And I'm holding this oven rack, and he's looking at me like, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. We about to eat good tonight. What you talking about?
Right? Making a fire pit grill, god damn it.
And he's over here looking at me because really, like, he's never really seen me have to do anything like that, and he's just over here looking at me like, damn, I didn't even know you had that kind of like redneck ingenuity. Like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, when you grow up in Florida and you got to do this shit when you're a teenager, you remember it. And hey, we're gonna have you worry.
Life skills, survival skills, straight up.
Hey, not very many women have that these days. They're too stuck on technology. Oh my God, my fucking phone is off, or
I don't know how to cook using this appliance if I can't use my phone to tell it what to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I might look like a girly girl. Yeah, I got me some nails, and yeah, I like to dress cute and all that stuff. But boy, I tell you what, I could survive if I had to.
Yeah, I
got
think
no problem
that
breaking my
survival
nails.
skills are going to be really important.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
The world's a fucking shit show.
Sad to say.
And oh, ow. Sorry, don't mind me.
Let's see.
Ask y'all this. If y'all had
just yelling at me.
Go ahead, what?
If you guys had a choice of a country to move to and get out of America for free, what country would you go to?
Probably Cuba. Nice weather. They're socialists. Wouldn't have to worry about access to health care and, education, all of those things, let alone housing. Wouldn't be on a fucking list for being socialist. Other than maybe like the roles of the Communist Party itself.
I mean, I don't know, honestly. Like, I don't know that I really want to be anchored to one specific country, Like,
yeah.
I really want to travel.
I love traveling too. So.
I mean, on the other hand, as far as like a home base, I don't necessarily know that I could just leave. I feel like I was raised here, and I want to see it be better. Maybe not the United States of America being better, but the people that occupy the land deserve a hell of a lot more.
Right.
Yeah. It's the thing. The government here is shit. The system here is shit. But we outnumber them by far. We should be able to fix this shit show. Yeah.
So we're a little over 2 hours now. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go through everything that we were originally going to, but I do want to kind of dial in, since we already touched on it anyway. The police released a sketch of a person of interest in the killing of a couple in Concord, New Hampshire.
Yeah. And the description, even down to his clothes, fits what the boys in NSC 131, the neo-Nazi group, wear. And this murder happened in an area where they train in New Hampshire.
Right.
They train in the woods where this couple went for a walk. And it's a mixed race couple, a white husband and a black wife. And they went for a walk from their apartment complex into the woods, and probably went off trail and stumbled upon some of these fucking neo-Nazis training. They were found shot repeatedly. Their bodies were found, I think, 3 days later. And
the night of April 21st, yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking heartbreaking. And this is the fourth murder of a person of color that I'm aware of just in the last year in that area. There's others that have disappeared that their bodies just haven't been fucking found. These neo-Nazi groups are growing in huge number, and especially in that area of like New Hampshire, Vermont, etc. I mean, it's like 98% white there. And while there's a lot of liberals there, they turn a blind eye. Like, la la la, we don't talk about that here. And pretty much,
I mean, especially Vermont, they always try to paint themselves as this like liberal paradise.
Only if you're white.
Yeah.
Only if you're white. Straight the fuck up. If you have any level of pigment, don't fucking go there. It's not safe. It's straight up not safe. They have KKK churches that are proudly, outwardly fucking KKK. Like, it's insanity. It's fucking insanity. And when that article hit with that drawing of the suspect and the description of what he was wearing, I went, oh, fuck. Blue shirt, khaki pants. That's NSC 131. Straight up. All the fucking way. And this group has Fed connections. They have federal agents that they feed info to, and so they're getting protected. Some of these fuckers were even involved in the January 6th attempted coup. And while they've been identified, they haven't been fucking arrested. Why? Because they're working with the feds. So they're getting away with this shit. The only fucking reason that this one is even probably being pursued is because it was brought to the attention of the state's attorney general.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have the news video from NBC 10 out of Boston. There we go.
Take a good look at this picture on your screen. Police releasing a sketch of a person of interest wanted in connection to the crime. Stephen and Wendy Reed were found dead off a Concord, New Hampshire walking trail just last month. Their deaths remain a mystery. Police also hoping an increase in reward money leads to more answers. NBC 10's Brian Burnell brings us up to speed on the investigation in New Hampshire.
Investigators in Concord, New Hampshire want to speak to this man in connection with the murders of Stephen and Wendy Reed last month.
I will stress that he is a person of interest That is, he is someone that investigators believe may have information about these crimes as either a witness or a suspect.
The Reeds were shot several times. Their bodies found off the Marsh Loop Trail in the Broken Ground Trail system where they walked frequently.
This person was seen in the vicinity of the homicides on April 18th, 2022.
The day they went missing.
Correct.
The man is described as being in his late 20s or early 30s, approximately 5'10", medium build, short brown hair, clean shaven, wearing a dark blue jacket, maybe with a hood, khaki pants, and carrying a black backpack. Police have received more than 170 tips in this case.
And Chief tells me that today they've already, based on the stories that you all have run, gotten dozens more tips today.
Officials are being careful how much information they release.
At this stage, it's important that there's information that's only known to investigators and to the killer.
Police Chief Bradley Osgood says he's confident the trails are safe, in part due to increased patrols.
They've been patrolling the parks and trailheads. We're starting to get more bicycle patrols, more use of the four-wheelers into the trail system.
In addition to releasing the sketch, officials also announced that the reward for information in this case has gone up from $5,000 to more than $33,000. In Concord, New Hampshire, Brian Burnell, NBC 10 Boston.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, the fact that shit like this is happening, and like Trisha said, that's like the fourth person of color to go missing in that area of New Hampshire in like 3 months.
Not just go missing, the ones whose bodies were found. One woman washed up and they claimed that she had drowned when she washed up on shore. I highly fucking doubt that, just given the other circumstances that went around her disappearance. It's been case after case after case. And that's just the ones whose bodies they've found. It's really not fucking safe to go up there if you're BIPOC at all. It's not. These motherfuckers, I mean, they treat anybody who's not from Vermont or from New Hampshire like you're a fucking outsider and not worth a fuck. But if you're an outsider plus you have pigment, they look for a
Like
way to kill you without getting caught.
Right, like you basically become a target.
Yeah. Yep. Because they want to keep Vermont and New Hampshire as white as fucking possible. It's sick. It's fucking sick.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. And then I obviously wanted to tie that into the Buffalo shooting. Why am I hearing myself? Oh, I see why. When I opened up Facebook, the video was playing. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, why do I hear myself? No. So I wanted to tie this into the Buffalo shooting, right? Because there was a racist conspiracy theory called the Great Replacement Theory. I think it has another name too. But the Buffalo gunman drove over 3 hours from where he lived to inflict harm on black people trying to get their groceries.
Right. And didn't they say that he scoped that location out a couple times before doing what he did? So, like,
yeah, he knew exactly what demographic he was targeting in that fucking grocery store.
Right.
And
so his manifesto explicitly stated that the intention of the attack was, quote, to show the replacers that as long as the white man lives, our land will never be theirs and they will never be safe from us. But, like, white men did not discover this land.
right. You can't discover a place where millions of people already live. For fuck's sake.
right.
Right.
Colonizer.
There was already over 900 individual nations on the continent now known as North America before white people ever showed up.
Right. And part of his rant was going off about things like how the white birth rate has dropped, and it's like they're trying to pretend like this is an act of genocide, that white birth rates have dropped, and it's like, no, genocide is when you kill people who are already here or force sterilization on a specific group of people. That doesn't apply when it's people choosing to not have kids because the world's a shit show and most of them can't fathom raising kids in this environment or can't afford to have them in the first place, so people are choosing to not have kids. Like, this kid got completely fucking brainwashed from following these White Lives Matter groups that are basically, being run by neo-Nazi groups like NSC 131 and the others they've locked arms with, like the Base, etc. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're all congregating under White Lives Matter on social media and stuff like that. Like, about a year ago, there was maybe 60 of these guys in this one group of NSC 131, and they were all in like New Hampshire, Vermont area. Now there's thousands across the fucking country because they're managing to get people's attention using social media and putting this bullshit out there of replacement theory. And it's like, oh, are you fucking scared because you have a little bit less of a majority over every other population? Like, whites are nowhere near being a fucking minority. They're just getting fucking insecure because they think that if they lose this massive majority of the population, then, or in the population, I guess I should say, then, what, they're not going to have the power to fucking domineer others? And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with your racist ass?
It also makes you want to question, like, that kid's parents and, like, their parenting styles. And I hate to put it on that or even mention that, but
these behaviors and these ideas are learned. They're taught. They're not. I mean, you ever see a racist child? I'm just saying.
No, it's not like that he just woke up one day on his 18th day and was like, oh, I hate black people, or I hate Asian people, or I hate anybody that's not white. I mean, he didn't just wake up one day and decide that. Like, it's taught, just like you said. Like, it's not, when they're kids and they're in elementary school, I mean, yeah, I'm sure they could probably develop behaviors from, maybe bullying or, something like that. But at the same time, when something like that's going on, the majority of the time, the parents know about it. I mean, I know anytime my kids were bullied or had a problem with someone in school, I mean, I was immediately notified by my kids, and I went up to that school to raise fucking hell. Because I don't teach my kids to be bullies, but I'm also not going to tolerate them being bullied either. And if bully, I have no problem whooping his ass right on that bus, because I have done it before when I found out he was bullying somebody else. I will not tolerate it. I don't care if they're white, they're black, they're Asian, whatever. I don't care if they're bigger than you, smaller than you. You are not going to bully anybody else because you are not better than anybody else. So let me remind you where you are. And so to hear of, I think he was 18 years old, the one who shot up that grocery store, like, it makes you really think and wonder what was going on in that child's home growing up to make him feel the way that he feels about these other races. Because it wasn't just something he woke up and thought about one day.
Well, in his manifesto, he said that he wasn't raised to be racist, that he only became racist over the last couple of years because when COVID started, he had a lot of boredom time to play around on Reddit and shit like that. And that he's now racist because he discovered the white replacement theory and all of that other shit. And he was like, oh, well, now that I'm looking at all these statistics as far as, the white birth rate dropping and blah, 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 as if that isn't somebody's personal choice to, like, be on birth control to prevent pregnancy. He said that because he started seeing all these statistics and reading about the replacement theory, that's what turned him racist. So it's mindfuck from social media. You know, I don't know anything about his parents to be able to say whether there was anything contributing to it there or not. I just have read most of his manifesto, and that was one of the things that he pointed out, you know, and it's really fucking frightening when you think about the kind of impact that these white supremacist groups are actually fucking having in mind fucking people with disinformation, making them think, oh, well, you know, this is why this is how it is. So we need you to go out and start killing people for this. What? And then, you know, like when it comes to the shit they kick out publicly, they try to say, oh, well, we're nonviolent. But then they're encouraging people in their own private groups to use violence.
Right.
It's all fucked. It's all fucked. This is the impact that they're actually fucking having of getting large numbers of people to join up with them because they actually fucking think that the white race is endangered. Exactly. That look on your face said it all.
I couldn't help it. That was like a natural reaction.
It was perfection. It really sounded like, really fucker, really.
Like there's just certain things that when they're said, that's why I really kind of enjoyed the whole mask wearing thing, because I could somewhat hide my expression sometimes.
Right. Especially if you're wearing sunglasses too, then they don't even know if you're looking at them motherfuckerly.
Right. I have a really bad resting bitch face.
Oh, I do too.
And I have a really bad like reaction, like you just saw, to when I hear a load of bullshit and something that's just absolutely ridiculous. And sometimes I can't control it. I can control the filter in my mouth sometimes, but my facial reactions, I have not figured that out yet.
Right.
And I think that's one reason why I could never be a police officer or a cop or anything like that, because like as soon as I start hearing this rambling out of people's mouth, like that's the reaction they get, and I'm just like
yeah, like read my face, you're fucking insane right now.
Right.
Like I can't, like I have no words. Like seriously, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Oh my god! Yeah. And the thing, people actually believe this shit.
Yeah, and it's like, how stupid are you to actually fucking buy into that? Like, how malleable is your fucking smooth ass brain, motherfucker?
Like that's like, okay, that would be like someone selling a unicorn on eBay, taking a picture of a horse and making it look legit like a motherfucking unicorn, and selling it for 10 grand to some dumb motherfucker who swears to God, oh my god, I'm buying a fucking unicorn. Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to go pick it up this weekend. And they're just telling you about it. And you're just like, dude, you realize
like that's Photoshop.
Like, you just spent $1,000 on nothing. Like,
right.
Probably a horse with like some thing on its head. Or, like, you probably aren't even going to go. You're probably going to go to some crazy address and there's nothing there, but like some old person who has no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, are you that stupid? But if you tell them that, they're looking at you like you're the stupid one,
right?
Because you can't believe that they just bought a fucking unicorn, and you're just like, okay, I'm wrong, I'm dumb. Like that's what this whole conversation about what these people believe in, like, really legit makes me feel like I just want to sit here and like just get that dumbfounded look, like, huh? Like, are you really that dumb? Are you really that stupid?
They really are. They really
are. You lost your entire fucking life over a fucking fake ass unicorn. Like, pretty and much. I tell my daughter, like, you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's the internet.
Brian just nailed it here, though, because the thing is, they're appealing to white working class people. A lot of them, like, okay, NSC 131, that stands for Nationalist Social Club. They literally want socialism, but only for white people. They want everybody else who's not white, not of European descent specifically, to basically be eradicated, removed from the country, or fucking enslaved. They want socialism, though, for whites only. They're the weirdest fucking group of Nazis ever. But shit like that is how they are appealing to white working class people. That's why their numbers are snowballing, and it's ridiculous because they're appealing to their poverty. Because
the funny thing is
like,
I mean, the funny thing is though is that they are not really far left. They, much like the Nazis, weren't actually socialists, right? I think that we all fucking know that at this point.
Right. No, they just wanted that shit for white people and fuck everybody else.
Exactly. I mean, it was more close to Mussolini's fascism than it was to, you know, socialism, or even more like social democratic countries like, you know, the Nordic countries and stuff.
Right. Who still only have their shit because it's supported and upheld by exploiting the fuck out of the global south. That's how they can afford to do that there. Right. My dog just totally stepped on me. You want to say hi? Oh, are you going to be shy?
Oh, pretty doggy.
Two of them. Mother and daughter. Hi, baby. Yes, you sweet baby.
And how much you want to bet? Like, let's check some of the ancestry and the DNA and things like that of some of these white supremacists. How much you want?
America's
a lot of them probably aren't, you know, as white as they think they are.
None of them would pass their own "Are you pure Aryan" tests. You know, none of them. Not a fucking one of them.
Right. I mean, guess what? My skin color looks white, right? Guess what?
You're part indigenous, aren't you?
I'm Romanian.
Bone structure.
Romanian.
Yeah. I can tell by your bone structure.
Got a better one for you. Hold on. You see him right there?
Mm-hmm.
What color does he look like to you?
Well, he looks white.
Bet you wouldn't believe me if I told you his daddy is as black as this box.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I mean, I could believe it, actually.
Phenotype and genotype don't always, you know.
His mother is white ghost. She is German. And he was a military brat. And his dad is blacker than black. He talks like a white man.
Well, I mean, that's like both of my parents actually look white presenting too. I look white presenting. My mother is half Celtic and half ethnic Jewish. My father is Celtic, indigenous, and black. He looks like he's dark white. But, you know, you can see it in our bone structure, though, that we are clearly not fucking Aryan at all. Not at all.
No. Oh, here you go. I got one for you. Well, no, he's kind of brown. My youngest. I got a picture of him because he's in bed. But him right there.
Yep.
He's classified as a white kid. He's actually Native American.
Right.
Like, if I showed you a picture of his dad, you would say that he looks identical to his dad. And his dad is Chippewa Indian.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually has a Chippewa card and everything.
Yep.
But my other two, born from the same man, all from my same marriage, they are whiter than white. They don't even look like his kids. They look like my current husband's kids. But my Mason, my youngest, looks just like his fucking dad. And in the summertime, he is brown. brown. I've had people stop me in the store and just tell me they're like in Georgia. Like I've had people stop me and tell me they're like, he is so beautiful. Like his skin color is just gorgeous. Like he's so exotic. What is he? And I'm like, he's Chippewa Indian. Like he's Native American. And they're like, really? Like he's just got the perfect skin. It's just like a golden brown. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I wish I had that fucking skin color whenever I want to freaking tan. No, I don't tan. I burn. This kid over here spends half the day outside and he's beautifully brown.
Right. It's one reason why I'm thankful that my Celtic genes of just turn into a fried piece of bacon in the sun are counteracted by all the others. Just get a tan and don't just turn to a crisp. Some of my relatives, poor things, they crisp up like no other. But is what it is.
See, I fry. I literally turn into a fucking lobster, and I tan really pretty, and then other times it's just like, nah, bitch, you're just gonna peel, and you're gonna be white as fuck as soon as that skin is done peeling off your ass.
Right.
It totally sucks.
Best thing to do if you get sunburn, put shea butter on. It'll help hydrate your skin and heal it up, and you might be able to keep a little bit of a tan instead of just peeling.
I might have to try that.
Yep, gotta nourish your skin. Yep. Like we're just riding around in electrified meat suits. Sunburn dries you out. Makes the skin suit thirsty.
All right. Well, I feel like we should probably start trying to wrap this up. We're at like 2.5 hours now.
Indeed.
And I don't know about you, but I'm tired.
Yeah, I kind of am too. And I don't even have cooties. COVID heaven ass over there's got to be whipped.
Yeah, dude, I've slept more this week than I probably have in like the last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually feeling pretty good today, though. I haven't even taken any Dayquil or anything today. And as you hear, I'm not like hacking my lungs out. So
that's a plus. I hope you feel better though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried about the time off of work, honestly.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It'll definitely stress you out for sure.
Yeah. Especially when we're like trying to get ready to move.
Right. Like just another abusive facet of capitalism that you can't afford to be sick. What the fuck?
Right.
Anyway, do you have anything that you want to plug before we wrap this up? Like any Facebook pages, your social media? I mean, obviously, like when we post it to the website, I'm just going to copy and paste all the links from last time. But
oh yeah, I mean, it's our movement is the hashtag Put in a Ticket movement, and you can follow me on TikTok at Always Miss Gundel. Our Facebook page, we have 2 groups, one private, one public. It's the hashtag Put in a Ticket movement, which I'm sure you guys are hearing everybody. Honestly, all you got to do is search that hashtag on Google and you'll pull up all kinds of stuff as far as what our movement is doing, all that great stuff. Hopefully you guys get a chance to read the article in the Progressive because it turned out really, really good. It really, I was really happy with how they talked about our movement, they talked about our upcoming event, and all of that great stuff. Like they did a really good job putting it together for us, talking about our organizing efforts.
all right. I mean, I'm just glad that you've actually been getting noticed. Like like you actually have reporters talking to you and.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's it's really been insane. Like I'm on texting basis now with like several different reporters, including Michael, who published our very first story. I'm always sharing information, texting him back and forth, and he'll text me and he's like, "Oh, I just saw this new article," like when the Progressive came out, and he was like, "I'm so excited for you," and stuff like that, and it's really awesome. Like I said, with the insider, the more perfect union. Like I'm on texting base with all of these people at this point. We text almost all day, sharing updates and things like that are going on, and it's actually really, really nice to feel like finally, not just my voice is heard, but other people's voices are being heard, and they're actually starting to feel like they're important and they mean something. And honestly, I think that's what these employees need. I mean, it doesn't take much to make an employee happy with a company. It really doesn't. And I think that's what these are really lacking. And if they just did that, I think a lot of this wouldn't be
Right.
Yeah.
I love seeing the momentum build. Keep that shit up. I fucking love it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't really think I have anything else. Obviously, the usual promotion stuff. Visit our website for wearemany.org. If you like what we're doing, you can support us by subscribing to our Patreon. We actually just started a loyalty program. So, like at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months, you'll get a gift if you subscribe at any of the tiers, $5 or over. I forget exactly what the gifts are. I know there's a sticker, a coffee mug, a t-shirt, and
no socks, right?
no socks.
No socks. Not yet.
Yeah, definitely no socks. And you can join us on Fridays at 8 o'clock Eastern for the current event stream, which obviously we're here. And then, we got kind of behind on recording. I took a week off for Emily's graduation, and then I've had COVID. Today's really the first day that I've felt like, hey, I can do shit. So.
And I was sick as fuck the week before Emily's graduation, so yeah.
Yeah,
I helped
and I mean, everybody's been busy too. It's not even just us. The behind the scenes people have all been crazy busy too.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get back in the swing of things now that we're all feeling better and settled in. Tomorrow night we're going to be having our first movie watch party since like December, and ironically enough, we're going to be watching the same movie because a couple of our patrons missed it. So, I mean, and several of the ones that were there were like, yeah, we could watch that again. Cool. So, yeah, we're going to be watching Judas and the Black Messiah. Obviously, we won't be airing that on Facebook because we'll get flagged for copyright shit. So what we do for that is we set up a Zoom meeting, and then we invite all of our Patreon subscribers, or even a lot of the regulars. Like, I mean, James isn't a patron, but we still invite him because he's always here.
Right.
Right.
He's a diehard.
Yeah. Well, shit, Natalie's a diehard too. She's been a patron since almost day one. That $5 a month adds up when it's like a year and a half in. Right.
Yeah. Hell, Natalie's been on staff since almost day one too. She was one of the first to join the FWAM crew.
Yeah, a lot of times when you see the "For We Are Many" comments, those are her.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up and eat dinner.
Natalie asked what time. Are we doing that at the usual 8 p.m. Eastern for the movie watch along tomorrow?
I mean, that is fine by me. If that works for everybody else, it should be. Either way, if you want to be involved in that, just message the page and we'll shoot you the link.
Right. You too, Mary, if you want to join us for that.
I just might send me.
Hell
Hell yeah.
Will do.
For those of you that haven't seen it, Judas and the Black Messiah is the story of Chairman Fred Hampton of the Chicago Black Panther Party. Well, really, it's the story of his being set up and murdered by the Chicago Police Department and the FBI.
Yep.
But, yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's pretty good. There's a few things that they kind of like bent the story on a little bit to make the movie flow better. I kind of feel like they kind of like framed the rat in a too positive of a light, but I mean, I learned a lot from it.
Right. And who knows? I mean, they did have the input from his family, including Fred Jr., you know, as far as guidance on making the film. So I don't know as far as their own personal experiences with him. Maybe they were actually wanting to give him some benefit of the doubt because, like, at least it gives the impression that he didn't like doing what he was doing. And, you know, if he had the option to back out of working with the feds, he very well might have. But they sure as fuck weren't going to let him at that point. You know? They had him in a fucking corner. So it's a fucked situation. He was being manipulated completely. I still personally find him to be a douche for what he did. I got no respect for rats.
But it does also show a lot of the good work that the Panthers were doing in Chicago at the time.
Right.
And that's, well, I mean, basically they kind of line it up, you know, why he was assassinated. Because he was bringing together, you know, not just like revolutionary black men, but also black women and white men. And the young lords were Puerto Rican. I mean, there's...
Right. He was across all racial lines. He saw the intersectionality for what it was and was like, look, we are all in the same class economically and being fucking exploited and abused by this fucking system. And it's going to take all of us working together to fight it. And that fucking unity is what the system itself and the Fed really saw as being a huge threat.
Yep.
That movie is very fitting.
Yep.
It'll
bring you to tears, but it's such an exceptional film. I recommend everybody take the time to watch it. It's enlightening.
Yeah, it's very inspiring, but it's also going to piss you right the fuck off.
Yep. It's going to make you want to punch everybody from Hoover on down.
From Hoover on down.
Yes.
Oh, God. All right. Well, if nobody else has anything else, I guess I'll roll the tunes.
Right on. Good night, Mary. Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah.
Absolute freedom. And for all of the freedom is holding on. Reflections.